Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another Glambitious Virtual Summit. I am Lily Mae, the creator of the Glambitious brand, and tonight we're talking about faith and entrepreneurship. If you're new to this platform, feel free to visit theglamceo.com to learn about the many opportunities we have for women entrepreneurs. We have speaking opportunities, we have live events, so many things, magazine interview opportunities, so many different ways that you can elevate your voice and visibility for success this summer. Also, like I mentioned, we're coming to different markets for live events. We'll be in Atlanta on June 14th, and there are 2 tickets left. Okay. Then we're also going to New Orleans for Essence Festival to host a brunch there. And we're having an all-white brunch in Martha's Vineyard, which I'm very excited about. So there's so many opportunities to connect with us, to be involved in the things that we have going on. So make sure that you visit theglamceo.com to check out our many offers. Now, the first virtual speaker of the night is no stranger to the platform. I'm going to bring Dr. Octavia Connor to the virtual stage.
Hello, everyone. So I am so excited to be here tonight. I am Dr. Octavia Connor. I am the CEO of Say Yes to Profits. Say Yes to Profits is a full-service accounting firm that provides virtual CFO and bookkeeping services to consulting firm CEOs that are ready to become financially intelligent CEOs and turn their top-line revenue into consistent profits and predictable profitability. Today, I'll discuss how faith-filled CEOs build businesses that operates based on purpose, generates a profit, and have lasting impact. So here's the thing. When most people think about entrepreneurship, they think about revenue, they think about sales, they think about clients, and they think about growth. And while those things matter, I believe there is a deeper conversation that every CEO must have, right? As entrepreneurs, many of us start our businesses because we felt called to serve certain people. We felt called to solve a problem. We felt called to create an impact. And then we also want the freedom to build something that will have a lasting legacy on our families and create opportunities for our families and communities. However, somewhere along the journey, many business owners, especially women, begin to measure their success by how busy they are. But can I tell you, after doing accounting and finance and taxes for well over 2 decades, being booked and busy doesn't always mean paid. And earning more revenue doesn't always create financial freedom. And so one of the most important lessons I've learned after being an accountant for, again, well over 2 decades and starting my business in 2011 is that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So tonight, I want to share with you 5 principles that will help you build a business that not only generates revenue, but also creates profit, purpose, and a lasting impact. So let's go ahead and deep dive into the first principle, which is revenue is not the same as profit. So many entrepreneurs celebrate sales, celebrate earning more revenue while ignoring profitability, right? But lasting businesses are built when CEOs understand how to turn revenue into actual cash flow and actual profit. I can't tell you the number of multi-million dollar business owners that have come to us because they know how to bring in the money, but they're unable to keep the money, right? And so in order to change that, it starts with understanding your pricing, it starts with understanding your product and having a profitable plan for the future, right? Also, it begins with and it continues with implementing the remaining 4 principles that I'm going to discuss. So that was principle number 1. Principle number 2 is that faith requires stewardship. So I like to say God cannot and will not bless a mess, or the proper way to say it is that God cannot bless what is not properly managed, right? Financial stewardship is not just about business and the skills of business. It is about leading your business responsibly. And every business should have accurate, reliable, and timely financial records. All right. You should be reviewing your financials at least on a weekly basis and making sound decisions about your business based on the data and not the emotions. A lot of female entrepreneurs make decisions based on how they feel that day and A lot of female entrepreneurs have their CEO identity tied to their bank balance. So what do I mean? So if the balance is high that day, they feel confident. They feel like they got it and they can do it, right? And they're successful. If the bank balance is low that day or sales are slow for that month, they doubt themselves, right? But if you have accurate, timely, and reliable financial reports, your bank balance would not determine your level of financial confidence. What would determine your level of financial confidence is understanding your current and your future financial position, and then having the profit plan to bridge the gap between those two places. Does that make sense? And not only do you need to review and have accurate, reliable financial reports, but you also need to make decisions based on the data, okay? And this leads me to principle number 3. Now, this principle is all about where CEOs must lead with financial clarity, okay? So growing businesses require more than just passion. It requires more than just vision. It requires more than just purpose. Successful CEOs know their numbers. They understand their cash flow. They make decisions based on their data. And so I highly recommend that not only should you be reviewing your financial reports on a weekly basis, but you want to implement a financial dashboard. Now, for our CFO clients, we give them a financial dashboard that they can access 24/7, 365 that is updated every day. This financial dashboard allows them to have the financial clarity on where they are, on where they're going, and how to bridge the gap between those two places. This financial dashboard allows them to make decisions in the moment based on their financial information and not how they feel. Because you could be having a bad day, but there's a business deal on the table that would be an amazing deal. But if you make decisions based on how you feel that day, you may miss out on something that is great. And the vice versa could happen, right? It could be something that you shouldn't invest in, but you're happy and you're elated that day. And so you make a decision that could harm you in the end or hurt your business, okay? So, moving to principle number 4, which is stop building a business that depends entirely on you. So, many women entrepreneurs become trapped in their own success. They become the bottleneck of their business. Every decision, every position, everything that is done has to be done through them and or approved by them. But successful businesses build businesses that operate on systems, on processes, and on financial infrastructure. When you build your business in that way, it creates freedom. It creates a business that can scale and a business that can sustain itself. Whether you take a day off, a week off, or a month off, you want to build your business in a way that allows you to do that. Matter of fact, build your business as if you will sell it one day, even though that may not be a part of your plan. But when you build your business in that way, it operates like a well-oiled machine. You should be able to take a week or 2 weeks off and still bring in money, right? And still build a profitable business and have everything still operating and still going, even though you're not there. Okay. Now, principle number 5 is to build a 6-month cash reserve. So, faith does not eliminate the need for preparation. One of the most powerful financial decisions a CEO can make is building a cash reserve that covers at least 6 months of operating expenses. Okay. A cash reserve provides stability during economic uncertainties, during unexpected challenges, during seasonal inflation, or it just provides you with the power to make decisions when growth opportunities presents itself. Okay. It allows you to lead from a position of confidence rather than fear and make strategic decisions without feeling pressure by the immediate need of cash. There are so many CEOs, especially women, that will be in the midst of a sales conversation and they will lower their price because they're in the need of cash in that moment instead of standing flat-footed in their beliefs and knowing what they bring to the table and stating their price with confidence. But because they need cash, they state their price with fear. And you do not want to do that, okay? Too many CEOs operate from one slow month of a crisis. So basically, they're 1 month away from a crisis because they don't have a cash reserve. All right. So a 6-month cash reserve creates financial breathing room. It protects the business, it supports the team, it gives you the financial flexibility to pursue opportunities that are aligned with your vision and your purpose. All right. So listen, when faith and, as I like to say, financial stewardship works together, businesses become powerful vehicles that actually creates the purpose and lives out the purpose and has lasting impact and creates the success that it wants, because money is not dictating how it is operating. It operates from a place of power, and the CEO operates from a place of fearlessness because they have a financially strong and solid business. I like to say it like this: profit creates options, profit creates stability, profit creates the ability to serve at a higher level, to withstand challenges, and to build the legacy that you were called to create. And so the question is not whether money is flowing through your business. The question is whether your business is able to keep the money inside of the business. Okay. And so if you're operating a business right now where you feel like you're on this financial roller coaster and 1 month things are great and then the next month or quarter things are not, and you're wondering what is going on, it could very well be that you don't have a revenue generating problem. You have a profit and a cash flow problem. And that is what you want to fix. All right. And so if you want to identify where cash is escaping your business, where profitability is being reduced, where opportunities are being lost because the money is not there, then I invite you to take our profit leak diagnostic by going to diagnostic.sayyes2profits.com. Okay. Within 10 minutes, you will uncover your hidden financial gaps. You will uncover where cash is leaking out of your business. You will uncover where you may not be pricing correctly. You will uncover where your financial house is not as solid as it needs to be for your next level. Again, you can go to diagnostic.sayyes2profits.com. I am Dr. Octavia Connor, CFO, financial strategist, and CEO of Say Yes to Profits. You can connect with me on Instagram at Octavia Connor, CFO, and that's Connor with an ER, and then definitely at sayyes2profits.com. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Octavia. What you shared tonight was so important because so many entrepreneurs are stuck in a bit of a hamster wheel and they need to connect with a strategist like you so that they can really thrive, because this is definitely a season to take systems, finances, and all of those things extremely seriously. Your business is not a hobby. It is meant to retire you. And hopefully, like you said, it's meant to be built and sold. Okay. So definitely connect with Dr. Octavia. And if you want to meet her in person, she will also be at the Atlanta All White Brunch on June 14th. We have 2 tickets left, and you can visit bookedinatl.eventbrite.com. I'll drop that link in the chat. That's bookedinatl.eventbrite.com. I had lived in Atlanta for about 14 years, actually thinking about moving back. And it's such a great place to visit. So if you're tuned in, you're catching a replay, and you've been thinking about visiting Atlanta, this is a great reason to come visit Atlanta, meet us for the All White Brunch, get fancy, make powerful connections with these dynamic women entrepreneurs. And speaking of dynamic women entrepreneurs, Dr. Kimberly Nems is our next speaker. I'm going to bring her to the virtual stage.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Lily Mae, for providing this platform for us. It is definitely needed. I'm so grateful to be here on today. As she stated previously, I am Dr. Kimberly Nems. I am the CEO of ATK Innovations, LLC. And we believe that if you thrive in your vision, you will align in your vision, thrive in your purpose, and you will truly know who and whose you are. Our mission is to help you to discover your purpose and to empower your voice. And so I want to talk to you today about the journey to purpose, GPS. How every experience, challenge, and step in life prepares us for the purpose that God has designed for us. So I want to talk about how purpose is not a straight path. Many people expect life to follow a predictable plan, but purpose is often revealed through unexpected turns. When I look back over my life, I can see clearly how God was strategically guiding me the entire time, even when I didn't fully understand it. I started my journey as a CNA in hopes of becoming an RN, but I would eventually come to find out that life began taking me down roads I never expected. Over the years, I've worked in various positions, including customer service representative, 411 operator, zero operator, home healthcare aide, behavioral health, medical coder, administrative assistant, patient support service, and other various healthcare support and leadership roles over a span of more than 28 years. What felt like detours were actually divine directions. My second point is the G in GPS stands for the God given vision. God often gives us the vision before we understand it. He places gifts, dreams, and passions inside of us before we even know what they are. Habakkuk 2 and 2 reminds us to write the vision and make it plain. The vision often arrives long before the pathway becomes clear. The P is for process. The process is also known as preparation. Every challenge, delay, setback, and disappointment serves a purpose. Romans 8:28 reminds us that all things work together for our good. So I just want to let you know that the process is not punishment, it's preparation. And even when you don't understand the full plan, you can trust the master planner. So how many of you guys know that you start out, doing one thing? You may go to college, get a degree, thinking you're going to land this job in one specific area, all to find out that God had a totally different plan, unbeknownst to you. And the stands for strategic steps. God directs us through strategic steps. And just like a GPS provides turn by turn instructions, God often reveals purpose one step at a time. Psalms 37 and 23 reminds us that the steps of a good person are ordered by the Lord. Clarity often follows obedience. So, what looks like rejection, delay, or even an ending may actually be protection, development, or preparation. Your experiences become tools for your assignment. Every role and life experience will teach you valuable lessons and will be developing your purpose all throughout the journey. When I look back over my life, healthcare taught me compassion. Customer service taught me patience. Leadership taught me communication and resilience. The very things that we survive often become the tools that God uses to help us to help someone else to heal, to grow, and to discover their purpose. So don't dismiss your journey because it doesn't look straight. Every step, setback, lesson, and victory has been building something within you. And one day you'll realize that what felt like detours were actually directions leading you to your purpose. So I want to ask you on today, are you walking in your purpose? Or are you still allowing your circumstances to define your direction? Are you confused about what your purpose is? I would love to connect with each and every one of you, and I would love to do so if you will visit my website at allthingskimberly.org and click Stay Connected so that we can connect and I can help you to discover your purpose. You can find me on Facebook at Dr. Kimberly Nelms and on Instagram, All Things Kimberly, ORG. And I want to leave you with a final thought. Purpose is not always discovered instantly. Often it is revealed through faith, persistence, growth, and the courage to keep going. I am Dr. Kimberly Nelms, and it has been a pleasure to share with you guys on today. And until we speak again, be blessed.
That was such a great segment, Dr. Kimberly. It definitely reminded me of my own unusual journey professionally. I have been a photographer, I've been a red carpet correspondent, a writer, a publicist, and I think that sometimes those of us who are multi-passionate and multi-gifted, our journey is different, and we really have to trust God and the way that He decides to use us, and be comfortable with those shifts. So if you are in a season of transition, definitely connect with Dr. Kimberly. So many times we're trying to go through this thing called life alone, especially when it comes to our business and our vision. We're doing it alone instead of connecting with other powerhouse women that can help us filter through these things and figure out, what is best for our next season. So I want to get into the comments and see who is tuned in. Let's see. My friend Danielle is here. She said, "Go, friend, go." I'm going. Let's see. We have the good Dr. Perspective. She said, "Thank you for creating this space." Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Kimberly speaking 8062. She said, "Yes, awesome." So she's enjoying the speakers. We have Lanita Mitchell Blackwell. She's actually one of the members of the Her Visibility Circle. She's also joining us in Atlanta on June 14th, as well as Essence Festival. So she's a dynamic powerhouse woman to stay connected with as well. We have Octavia still with us. She said, "Thanks for creating the space." We have a fan of Dr. Kimberly. They said, "Let's go, Dr. Kimberly." So I love to see everyone, getting active in the comments. Make sure you put what city you're in, because you never know who's in the comments and who might want to network with you. Also, drop a link to your website if you have a website that you would like people to check. Our replays for this summit get tons of views, usually over 100. So you never know who may come back, visit, check out the comments, and do business with you. All right. So our next speaker is also going to be joining us in Atlanta. Look, Atlanta's about to be up. Okay. I'm going to bring Dr. Alyssa to the virtual stage.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Elisa Green, and it is truly a pleasure to be here on this stage this evening. I am an alopecia awareness advocate, and I have chosen to impact those who are going through their journey and trying to become her, the power of becoming her through faith and with their entrepreneurship. We have a lot of beautiful, bold women, men, and youth who are walking around and discovering who they are. And I am impacting the community through providing an avenue for them to be empowered, encouraged, and inspired. So I would like to share my journey of becoming her through Bald Boss Beauty. My faith has given me the vision and beyond my circumstances. My journey has taught me that the woman I am becoming is not defined by where I am today, but by the purpose God has placed within me. And we just heard from the previous speaker about purpose. So faith has allowed me to see the possibilities where others see limitations, and it has empowered me to move forward, even when the path was very unclear for me. When I first had discovered I had alopecia, everything became very blurry. Everything became very muddy. So my path was unclear on where I was going to go. In creating Bald Boss Beauty, my path was very unclear, as I stated, and stepping out on faith and belief that I can't do anything but grow and learn through my successes and my failures, through creating an avenue, a platform for those who were going through their hair loss journey due to alopecia or due to treatment that they were receiving. So my failures were my biggest teachers. and my most impactful consultants. My next step for me was my purpose then turned into impactful passion through Bald Boss Beauty. Walking into becoming her with Bald Boss Beauty clarified the understanding that my gifts that I have were never meant to serve only me, because I found myself not only consulting me, but then consulting others as they were going through their journey as well. When my faith and my entrepreneurship did align through Bald Boss Beauty, my business with Bald Boss Beauty became a vehicle to uplift and inspire and create awareness and impact meaningful changes in other people's lives. So then I realized that courage is the currency of growth. My courage to be able to step out with Bald Boss Beauty and to be able to assist others with their journey was my currency. I know a lot of times people feel as though money is the currency that they build their success on. But for me, it was impacting my community, the bald community, and seeing those reach their next level and build that inspiration and that encouragement for them as they were going through their journey. And every successful entrepreneur faces uncertainty, and that I did. And there was doubt for me. And so I tell you all, this audience, if you know of someone who is going through their hair loss journey, please make certain to encourage them. Please make certain to let them know that it is okay to face uncertainty, because you will face some uncertainty, but never give up on the journey that you are going through. Yet through my faith, I developed the courage to take risk. I developed the courage to embrace those challenges. And I trusted that every setback is a setup for greater opportunities and personal transformation for me. And as I transformed into becoming her, I transformed in taking on those greater opportunities. I transformed and walked into that greatness. My influence and my impact is built through authenticity. Authenticity is the key, especially when you're going through a journey such as mine, and bringing that awareness to the community, which is the most powerful. Authenticity is the most powerful version of myself. And it is not a copy of someone else. It is all me, Dr. Elisa Green, Bald Boss Beauty. And I am so proud of me. And I pour that pride into others within our community, regardless of the society judgment or the society perspectives, because there is judgment and perspectives out there when we are faced, and I say we, I'm talking about the bald community, when those are faced with different judgments and perspectives from society, and it's outside of the society norms. However, becoming Bald Boss Beauty required me to embrace my unique story, my values, and my voice. Being an authentic leader attracted the people and opportunities that are meant for my journey. And with my entrepreneurship with Bald Boss Beauty, it just flourished within the bald community. However, as an entrepreneur and walking in faith, it has taught me that legacy is greater than the success. Although some may feel that their success is their legacy, I have experienced that true entrepreneurship is not just about building wealth, it's about building a legacy. When you operate with faith, integrity, and purpose, Once again, you create a lasting impact that empowers future generations to dream bigger. It empowers future generations to believe deeper. And it empowers future generations to achieve more. So, in closing for this segment for me, becoming her through Bald Boss Beauty is not about changing who I am. It's about becoming who God has created me to be. Though faith, purpose, entrepreneurship, I have found that I have the power to transform my vision to impact the dreams into a legacy. I am Dr. Elisa Green. I am Bald Boss Beauty. You can find me on Instagram on Bald Boss with a Z Beauty. You can also find me on Facebook, Bald Boss with an S Beauty. And definitely connect with me via my website, which is the word three, THREE.com. It has been a pleasure speaking with you all. And once again, if you know of someone who is going through their hair loss journey, please have them reach out to me. I would love to connect with them. They will also be able to find me at a conference coming up here. It is the largest bald conference here in the Atlanta area called BaldyCon. I will be there producing an amazing fashion show for the bald community, and I would love for them to participate in this conference. Once again, my name is Dr. Elisa Green, and I am Bald Boss Beauty. You all continue to have a very blessed day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lisa. That was absolutely amazing. I was over here taking notes. I love that you said courage is the currency of growth. Like, that is such a powerful quote. Courage is the currency of growth. And when I think about my own journey, it definitely took a lot of courage to try new ideas, to shoot my shot and pitch myself for things that I may not have been qualified for at the time. And so I always encourage women to speak up, show up, and shoot their shot no matter what, because courage is the currency of growth. You have to have the courage to also be visible, the courage to be seen, the courage to be on virtual stages like this, the courage to be in person at events speaking. And so for any of you who may be tuned in live or watching the replay, I have a membership called Her Visibility Circle. And the purpose of the membership is to provide you with tons of opportunities to be seen, be heard, and be paid. So I literally find opportunities like podcasts for you to submit yourself for magazine interview opportunities. I put in there a link to apply for media passes to Essence Fest. I put in there a link to apply for the audience at BET so that you can attend the BET Awards. I put speaking applications in there, paid speaking applications from around the country. I put in applications in there for TEDx talks in different markets. So there's like 10 different cities, TEDx talks that you can apply for. So again, I encourage you to check out the membership. Simply visit hervisibility.com. And speaking of the membership, I have one of our members speaking next. That's Miss Sharon Crossan. So I'm going to bring her to the virtual stage. And Sharon, you can jump right into your message. You're live, Sharon.
Hi, I'm Sharon Crossan. I am a wellness advocate and the founder of the Be Lotus Wellness Group. James 2:17 says faith without works is dead. But nobody's talking about the works without faith and what it's going to cost you. I've tried my hand at entrepreneurship at least 3 times, and I would start the businesses and then hustle to make them work just because I figured I had enough drive, enough skill, and I had the vision. I even self-financed until I couldn't. And to a certain extent, I did have some success, but that ceiling was still there and I couldn't break through it. So I just kept hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And then I started losing that spark of encouragement that I had when I decided to start my businesses. I lost my way, and seriously, my faith was wavering. And it was only because I couldn't see beyond the level that my business was at. I was hooked into every single business program there was and then some. And I still didn't have the clarity or confidence necessary to scale my businesses to the next level. So my faith diminished, and honestly, it was smaller than a mustard seed. Still, I never thought to seek clarity from God. Then I started second guessing decisions that should have been clear, because what I didn't realize was that I was building my own strength, and our own strength can only take us so far. It wasn't until I slowed down and sought God's counsel. I mean, I really sought his counsel. Then everything began to shift for me. I received something that I could not buy, I couldn't network my way into, or I couldn't find it in any one of those business courses that I had taken. I received clarity, confidence, and that mustard seed of faith that I needed to take the actions necessary to bring my dreams alive. So today, I'm going to leave you with 5 gems that will transform the way you approach entrepreneurship through faith. Success without clarity from God is a ceiling. It is not your destiny. You can grind your way to a certain level. Many of us have. Just remember, though, there is a lid on self made success. But when you invite God into your business, He gives you clarity, confidence, and a sustainable strategy for your success and growth. Then that ceiling becomes your floor, and what you thought was your peak becomes your starting point. But don't confuse your early successes, please, with your full potential, because God has much more success for you than you could ever manufacture on your own. Clarity is the first gift of surrender. The moment you stop trying to figure it all out yourself and genuinely seek God's counsel, your confusion will lift, because clarity isn't something that you manufacture. It's something that you receive when you get quiet enough to hear what God is telling you. And I realize that as entrepreneurs, we're wired to move fast, decide fast, build fast. But sometimes God is just asking us to be still first, so that when we move in the right direction. Divine clarity trumps man made strategy every time. So seek God first. Self-confidence has its place. Godfidence is what will take your business to the next level. The confidence I was missing had nothing to do with my skills or my resume, because I already had those. What I lacked was the unshakable knowing of who sent me, because true entrepreneurial confidence, it doesn't come from a coach, a course, or even a master class, although they do have their places. Confidence comes from a deep, settled assurance that your vision is ordained by God. And you can say to yourself, God equipped this, and my God does not fund failing vision. Because when you know who's backing you, your posture can change, your pitch will change, and your clarity and confidence begin to align with your faith. And you'll stop shrinking in those very rooms that you were called to lead. Now, remember this: faith is not passive, it has a work ethic. James 2:17 makes it plain. Faith without works is dead. God will give you the vision, but you still have to show up and build, because faith is not sitting in our prayer closet waiting for contracts and customers to land in our lap. Faith is actually moving your feet while trusting God's hand. It's making the call that you've been avoided. Go ahead and launch the offer before you feel ready. Faith is walking into the rooms that you were called to lead, even when it scares you. Because the same faith that moves mountains is the same faith that can move your business to the next level. Just remember, works works are not the opposite of faith. They are the evidence of it. The business God ordained, He also sustains. And He's already made a provision for your vision. So when your business is rooted in purpose, confidence, and faith, You stop questioning your every decision. You'll shift from chaos to clarity and from doubt to belief. You'll also shift from procrastinating to action and impact. And as an entrepreneur, your faith is going to prove to you that God does not give you a vision without first arranging the provision. And that includes your resources, your relationships, and the doors opening for you at the right time. God will give you divine connections that you could never have orchestrated on your own. Your provision is already in motion, it is already written. Now, your assignment is to move in faith and meet them. Stop waiting until you have everything figured out. The provision is tied to your movement. As James 2:17 says, faith without works is dead. Thank you. I'm Sharon Crossan, and I'm honored to have had the opportunity to share those 5 gems with you because I walked into entrepreneurship the first 2 times with the vision, but without the clarity. I had work ethic, but I had no confidence. But when I sought God's counsel, everything changed for me. Clarity replaced confusion, confidence replaced doubt, and my now faith replaced my fear with action. Wherever you are, whatever you're building, whatever vision is burning inside of you right now, I need you to hear this before we leave this room. God does not give you a vision without making a provision for it. The only question is, will you trust him enough to move? And I can't share this enough. James 2:17, faith without works is dead. So let me ask you, what is your faith and your dreams of entrepreneurship asking of you? Thank you. I'm Sharon Crossan, and you can sign on for our faith-based wellness blog at belotusluxwellness.com, or you can join us in the Be Lotus Wellness space on the school application. And of course, please do follow us on IG at Be Lotus Wellness 1. Thank you, and have a good evening.
That was so great. That was so great. I definitely took notes. Thank you, Sharon, for really, anchoring us on the importance of the faith part to this entrepreneurship journey. The ladies were definitely loving it. Let's see. Kimberly speaking said, so good. The good doctor perspective said, amen, be still. And to be honest with you, that is one of the hardest things for me and for many of us as ambitious women is to be still in the seasons where God quiets things down, right? It's so hard when we see everyone else accelerating, achieving, and moving, but God brings us to a quiet season. I feel like for the month of May, that was what I was enduring, like a quiet season, a season of stillness. And I think it's so important that we surrender to those seasons and not fight those seasons or push past it or miss what God is doing in those seasons. Because oftentimes when he brings us to stillness or he brings us to a slow, quiet season, there's something he wants to tell us. There's a download he wants to give us, right? But if we're so busy moving, we may miss it. So there could be, like Sharon mentioned, the clarity that we're looking for. That comes when we get into stillness, when we get into quiet. And so we can't fight it. We have to learn how to surrender to whatever season God has brought us to, because you won't be in that season forever. Once he gets what he needs to you, then he'll release you just like a slingshot. It's like you pull something backwards, and then once you release it, it's out of here, right? It's Amos 9:13, okay? Where things are just happening left and right. So I pray that over everyone that tuned in, that you really seek God for clarity on what this season is for you, and not look to the left or right at what everyone else is doing and what everyone else is, achieving or accomplishing, but really look up and say, Lord, what season is this for me? Like, please reveal, is this my season to sit down? Is this my season to be quiet? Is this my season to take a break from social media? Or is this my season to do the work? Is this my season to speak and to be on podcasts and to do interview opportunities and speak on stages and pitch myself for opportunities? So I think if you seek God for that clarity, then you can surrender to the moment and not let the moment, cause doubt or fear that you're not going to achieve your dreams because things have slowed down, because those seasons happen for all of us. Let's get in the comments here. Okay, she said, my pastor spoke about faith over fatigue today. I like that. Faith over fatigue. Let's see. Danielle said, in any space, these are powerful gems. Yes, yes, yes. Thank all of you for tuning into the virtual summit. I have only one thing to request of you ladies who are watching us either live or catching the replay. Text this link to at least one friend, okay? Text this link to one friend and say, hey, I tuned into this summit earlier and just wanted to share, because you never know who needs to hear this encouragement, who needs to hear these reminders. And as I mentioned, I tend to host virtual summits like this on a monthly basis. So if you're interested in being a speaker at the next virtual summit, I encourage you to visit theglamceo.com to sign up, okay? Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't, come up with a million reasons that you're not ready. But really, take a chance and step out on faith and join us as a virtual speaker next month. I invite everyone to my platform. This is a very inclusive platform. So I've had speakers who are millionaires on my platform. I've had speakers who just started. I've had Candy Burris, who's one of the most recognized faces in the country. I've had Chrisette Michelle, who's a Grammy-winning artist, as a speaker on my platform. So this is a very inclusive space. We welcome you wherever you may be in your journey, as long as you love the Lord. Okay, that's the only prerequisite. You got to go through Jesus to get to my platform. Okay. That's the only prerequisite. Otherwise, you are welcome. And I hope that you join my email list to stay connected. This has been so great. Usually we have a few more speakers than 4, but today, it was succinct, but it was powerful. So I definitely want you to share the link with maybe 1 or 2 friends, to just let them check it out on their own. If you have a community or a Facebook group or anywhere where you feel like some women could use some encouragement and insights, share it with them. That's all I ask. You can also follow me on Instagram at I am Lily May. I'll put that in the comments as well if you want to stay connected with what I have going on. Like I mentioned, those seasons of surrender and those seasons of quiet and slow down are very hard for me. But like Sharon said, those are very important seasons. Like, we have to be still and let God sometimes. Like, sometimes I've realized that God can do more with me sitting still than with me moving my feet and running my mouth sometimes. So even though it's a still season, there's still work being done, because God is aligning things in my favor. So it doesn't always require me to show up, because I can sit still if that's the assignment he's given me. And then he can handle everything on the back end to align the opportunities that I've been dreaming about. Another thing that's been on my spirit, because, my friends and I, we are in our mid-40s for the most part. And so a lot of times how we thought life would look like at this age is different from our reality. And many of us are trying to figure that out. Like, well, I thought that I would have this by now. I thought I would have achieved that. I thought I would be married. I thought I would have children. There's so many things that sometimes we thought would happen, and then we get to a reality that's like, wait, this is not what I imagined. This is not what I expected. And I encourage you to really surrender to God in this season and be present where your feet are. I saw a YouTube video that said, be present where your feet are. And what she was saying is, wherever God has you planted, there is so much abundance in that season. There's so many blessings in that season. And if you're so focused on your vision of what things should look like, you'll miss the magic of the moment. You'll miss what he's doing. You'll miss the connections and opportunities that he's made for you right now. And so I encourage any of you who may find yourselves in a transition, or you may even be grieving the life that you thought you would have at this age, to go ahead and allow yourself to feel the feelings, but then to open your eyes to really perceive what God is doing in this season, what he has done in previous seasons, and what he will do. Because it doesn't matter how old you are, as long as you're alive, there's always more. So the thing that you've been believing God for could happen tonight. The thing that you're believing God for could happen in the morning. And if you get too hemmed up in negativity, negative thinking, and worrying about your age and comparing yourself to others, then you miss the sweetness of the moment. There's a phrase that many people say, and I know you all have heard it, where they say hindsight is 20/20. So in other words, after they get past something, they look back and they can see it clearly, right? But the beauty of God is that he's sovereign. So it's not his hindsight, it's his foresight that protects us. It's his foresight that has us where we are, because he knows what's ahead. One of the speakers mentioned tonight the importance of realizing that rejection is redirection and protection. And so sometimes we can't, I feel chill bumps. Okay, so God is here. Hello. Sometimes in our human bodies, in our human vision, in our human mind, we don't know what God is doing. So we put our own perspective on it and we look at what everyone else is doing and we start to get down, not realizing that he's in the kitchen cooking something great, not realizing that the season that we're in is a full season, is a great season, because we have our eyes on other people's paper. And if you remember in elementary school, what did the teacher say? Keep your eyes on your own paper. That was one of the first lessons in first grade. Right. And so I really do believe that, Kimberly said it. God is strategic and we can trust his strategy even when we don't understand it. We can trust his strategy even when we don't understand it, right? And so it's okay to seek God for understanding, but I want you to get comfortable with trusting what you don't understand, right? Because sometimes the hindsight will be 2020. Ladies, if you're single, I'm single, right? Sometimes you'll date a person, you'll get so excited about this person, it doesn't work out, and you're like, man, I missed out on a great man. You move on, and a year later, you look back like, what was I thinking? Lord, thank you. But let him go on about his business. Lord, thank you for disrupting that connection, right? Because your hindsight sees that he wasn't it. I would have been settling. I was just so hungry for marriage that I just would have settled. But God knew better and God has better. So that's an example of how we have to trust the process. And then eventually our hindsight, once we look back, it'll be 2020. And we'll be like, you know what? I see what you did there, God. I see why my journey is different from everyone else's journey. I see why maybe I got married at 45 or 46 when everyone else got married at 30 and divorced by 40. Maybe you protected me from divorce because you had a different path for me. There's so many ways to look at your situation from a place of empowerment. So I encourage you to do that by surrendering to God, trusting where he has you is the best place, and then shifting your perspective to a place of empowerment, right? So instead of, for the single ladies, because, we out here. Dating is something interested in this journey and in this season and generation. Dating is something very different, right? And so, singleness can be extremely hard. But, I encourage you to really look at the beauty of the freedom that God has gifted you in this season. He has marriage for you. I'm touching and agreeing that marriage is for you if that's what you desire. But where he has you is a magical place. It's a place of freedom. It's a place of unlimited joy, right? You can come home and you don't have to worry about no one leaving the toilet seat up. So I encourage you, wherever God has you, whatever season that you're in, to really enjoy it. Now, for the married women, it's a blessed season. I know he might leave that toilet seat up and get on your nerves, but think about the blessing it is to have partnership with someone that God has designed for you. So even on those days where he might get on your nerves, you can find the blessing of the partnership, right? Because where two or more gathered, the Lord is there. So I encourage, wherever you may be, in your business, in your dating life, in your marriage, in motherhood, wherever God has you, know that it's a beautiful moment. It's a beautiful season. And life can still be magical even when there are challenges. So when the challenges come, bring God into the challenge. Allow him to get you through the challenge and still find the beauty in your season, right? Let's see. Okay, Kimberly said, trust God when you can't trace him. Danielle is gassing me up saying, come on, Lily, I'm coming. Let's see here. The Good Doctor Perspective said, yes, indeed. So, I hope that these words just, encouraged you in your faith and in your entrepreneurship journey to trust the process ultimately and to keep going and to know that the rest of the year might just be the best of the year. If you've had a rough couple of months, or a rough couple of years, know that that could change in an instant. So I hope you stay positive. I hope you stay encouraged. I hope you join the email list at theglamceo.com, or better yet, join the membership by visiting hervisibility.com and just stay connected, because I created this platform in 2013 to empower and uplift women in their business and in their faith. So, sometimes the business is doing not so great, but your faith is up. Sometimes your business is up, but your faith is down. Like, life is a journey. And so having community like within the Glambitious brand, it's designed to, uplift you wherever you may be and wherever it may fall. So I hope this blessed you. I'll pray us out. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this divine appointment, Lord. I pray that you cover my speakers tonight, Lord, for whatever they poured out, Lord. I pray that you restore them, Lord, and replenish them for everything that they poured out tonight, Lord. I pray over anyone who may be tuned in live or catching the replay, Lord, that they feel a sense of encouragement from what they've seen tonight, and that they touch and agree with me that the rest of this year is going to be the best of this year, Lord. I do a special prayer and uplifting of my single ladies, Lord, and I pray that you renew their encouragement to be dating in this season. It can be hard, Lord, but I pray that you give them visions and give them signs and wonders to let them know that you do have marriage in store for them and that there still is beauty in the season that they're in, Lord. And I just pray over anyone's health, over anyone's mind, over any areas of challenge that anyone may be facing, Lord, that you meet them where they are and you fulfill the needs that they have. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. All right, y'all. I hope this blessed you. Have a great evening.